Go free, or does he go to jail for most of the rest of his life? Watch it on Jimmy Breslin's People.
Periodically on this broadcast, we focus on individual prisoners of conscience. One of those cases on which we've been working for the past 4 months is that of a Soviet writer, Irina Ratushinskaya. Today has been a remarkable day for her.
Our Heavenly Father, we pray for Irina Ratushinskaya that you will deliver her from death.
Her poetry has been published and distributed in the United States, in Western Europe, in some 30 countries altogether. It is precisely because of her poetry that Irina Ratushinskaya, at age 29, was sentenced to 7 years hard labor and 5 years of internal exile.
The charges herself are not, wouldn't have any ground in any free country. Like, she was accused in writing poetry, which was considered by the Soviet authorities and the Soviet agitation and propaganda.
She was represented by a lawyer she didn't select, a lawyer who said she was guilty, even though Ratushinskaya claimed she was innocent. Following her conviction in 1983, she was sent to a labor camp for women who were considered dangerous state criminals. This is Zone 4 of Corrective Labor Colony 3 in Soviet Mordovia. It is known as the Small Zone. It is a strict regime camp with the harshest conditions for women allowed under Soviet law. Nadia Svetlichna was a prisoner there in the early 1970s.
Constant humiliations, and that is a policy of the prison administration to treat prisoners not like people, but like some animals.
These drawings by Irina Ratushinskaya have been published recently. During her time in the prison, she was subjected to especially severe treatment because of her repeated protests on behalf of other prisoners.
When she had the hunger strike, she was severely beaten in the process of being force-fed.
Ratushinskaya has been held in solitary confinement with inadequate food and clothing in freezing conditions. With her head shaved, she contracted pneumonia in an unheated punishment cell. She's believed to be suffering from kidney disease and high blood pressure. Recently, Ratushinskaya was moved to a KGB prison in Kiev, where her mother saw her briefly and found her extremely ill. The Soviet government, when asked about her case by ABC News, declined any comment. Irina Ratushinskaya is officially barred from writing, but some of her poetry, produced covertly in prison, has reached the West. Professor Carol Avens, who translates Ratushinskaya's work, read us a recent poem.
I lived through this, survive, and they'll ask me how they beat my head on the prison cot, how it froze during the nights, how the first wisps of gray hair broke through. I'll smile and say some joke, wave away the shadow that comes quickly. And I'll honor the dry September that's become my second birth.
Today, finally, Ratushinskaya experienced that second birth she had written about in prison. Late last night, without any official announcement, she was unexpectedly released and permitted to rejoin her family. For the latest developments in the U.S.-Soviet summit, please stay tuned to ABC News throughout the weekend. That's our report for tonight. I'm Ted Koppel in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
This has been ABC News Nightline.